Saxon Algebra 2, Lesson 103. Dividing polynomials, we meet again. We covered this topic earlier this year, and I'm going to give you a quick review, and then we will take a look at two problems. With any form of long division, there are 4 steps that we repeat over and over again. The first one is when we estimate. How many times does this number go into that number? We make a guess, and then we actually multiply them out. The third step is that we subtract the number that we created from the number in the division problem. And then the fourth step is that we bring down another digit. And then we start all over again. This might sound kind of obscure, but this is what we call the algorithm or the repeated step-by-step process that gets us through any long division problem, and it's going to get us through these polynomial problems. In our lesson, subtracting is the one we have to be really careful with. The other tip that I'll remind you of is, to the extent that we have blanks in our sequence, we fill in blanks with zeros. And I'll remind you what I mean by that when we get into a problem. All right, example 103.1. It says divide that thing by that thing. That's what the problem says. Okay, now we know we're going to use a division box, right? The old school little thing that you started learning in 4th grade. This is the number that goes inside, and this is the one that goes on the outside. Divide the inside number by the outside number. So we go to set that up. This goes on the outside. And as we go to write this on the inside, we remember this thing about the blanks. Sometimes we have missing parts of the sequence, right, of what we're trying to divide. And we have to put zeros in front of those terms, right? Now, I don't know for sure what terms we're going to need between x cubed and y cubed. That seems kind of weird to me. I'm not sure exactly what to expect. So I'm just going to put the y cubed way down here. I'll put a plus sign in front of it. And now we can fill in as we go with whatever we happen to need. In the past, it was easier to predict what we would need. But this time, we're just going to leave a big chunk of space there, and we'll fill in the blanks with zeros as we go. All right, so number 1 is estimating. Remember, with these problems, we only look at the first term to estimate, and we ask ourselves, how many times does x go into x cubed? Or the better way to ask it is, what do we multiply by x to get x cubed? And the answer is x squared. So now, that's our estimating. Now we multiply. Now when we multiply by both parts. Estimating, just one part. Multiplying, both parts. So I'll multiply this, and sure enough, there's my x third I get back. But now when I multiply here, I get plus x squared y. Okay, so I know I need a term here that is 0 x squared y. And this has an invisible 1 in front of it, all right? Now the next step is to subtract. I asterisk this. The reason why is we have to be really careful with our subtraction in polynomial long division. We have to put brackets around it, parentheses, and subtract. This one should always be nice and clean. This one, what we have to do is we have to change this sign, and then once I change it, I circle it. This time we're subtracting. So I have to make that a nice big obvious minus sign. And then I can do the subtraction. 0 minus 1 would be negative x squared y. I could put the 1 there if I wanted. I don't need to. All right. Now I have to figure out what do I multiply times x to get minus x squared y. I haven't brought anything down yet. I skipped that step. I'll figure out what needs to go there once I multiply. Okay, I'm going to have to multiply by a minus x and a y, right? Because then I'll have 2 x's and 1 y. Beautiful. And I need it to be minus. So I have to multiply by minus. All right. So let's multiply minus x squared y. And then this second part will be minus xy squared, right? 2 y's and 1 x. And it's minus. Okay. And I'm going to put parentheses around it, and I'm going to subtract it. Draw the line. Now I know what term goes here. I can write plus 0xy squared. Okay, the first one was x squared y. This one is xy squared. It's perfectly fine to do the bringing down or the creating of these new terms after we multiply, because now we know what that term should look like, right? Okay, so I'm going to write it up here too. All right. And now we're subtracting. This minus sign turns this into a plus. Okay, that's exactly what I want, right? Minus and plus. It turns this minus sign also into a plus. Remember, I circle it to show that's what it is after I changed it. Otherwise, it's super confusing. Did I fix it or did I not fix it? So I circle it when I fix it. And now 0 plus, again, this is an imaginary 1, means that I have x y squared. Am I going to bring down the y cubed? I don't know yet, so I'm just going to leave that alone. What do I have to multiply times x to get xy squared? That would be a positive y squared. That's my estimating. Now I multiply xy squared, and then I multiply this one. It's plus y cubed. Oh, okay, so I can bring this down. That's going to match up. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Oh, I see. I didn't bring it all the way down yet. I put it in the wrong, right here is where it belongs. This was the y cubed I got when I multiplied. Boom. This is the 0. No, I actually have a y cubed, don't I? So I'm bringing that one down. It's kind of a mess, isn't it? Now I'm subtracting xy squared minus xy squared. That all goes away. And look here. This minus turns this plus into a minus. I'll circle it like that. y cubed minus y cubed, it comes out to 0. So that means our final answer is this. We don't have a remainder. X squared minus xy plus y squared times this would give us that. Huh, who knew, right? So these came out even. We'll do one more. Remember, the really tricky thing is that since we couldn't really predict what terms we were going to need with zeros, we just waited to see what happened when we multiplied, and then we created 0 terms to match. So you can do it that way. All right, let's try the second one. 103.2. Divide, the first number goes inside the box, x cubed minus y cubed. I'm leaving some space there. Divide this by x minus y. Oh, the last one was x plus y. This one is x minus y. Okay, so what do we multiply times x to get x cubed? That would be x squared. Now we multiply, we get x cubed minus x squared y. So here I'm going to write plus 0x squared y. So we have a matching term. Now I'm ready to subtract. This cancels. This minus makes this a plus. So I have a 0x squared y plus 1. So this gives me x squared y. I need to bring down something else, but I don't know what that is yet, so I'm just going to wait. Now I see, what do I multiply times x to get that? That would be plus xy, right? This times this, I get x squared y. This times this, I get minus xy squared. Aha! Okay, so now I know this needs to be 0xy squared, and then I can bring that all the way down here. Okay, that just comes down from the top. Okay, now I'm ready to subtract. This minus this, that cancels. This turns this into a plus sign. 0xy squared plus xy squared equals xy squared. Do I bring this down? I don't know yet. Let's look and see. What do I multiply by x to get this? Plus y squared. There's my estimate. Now we multiply, and I get xy squared. Good, I like that. This times this is minus y cubed. Okay, this works. So I'm going to bring this all the way down. It's minus y cubed. I'm subtracting all of that. So this is positive, that's negative. This changes this to a positive. Circle it, so I know I changed it. Minus, plus, and it all comes out to 0. So this is the answer to this one. It is correct, and we've just done something really interesting and useful that in another lesson or two we're going to come back to and talk about a bit longer. So we're going to come back to this lesson, and these two particular division problems are going to be useful to us. But for now, we're done. Yay!